Before we head into this interview here, I just want to let you guys know that after we finish this interview here, at the end of this month where we filmed this video, I checked up with Mike to see what the actual numbers were at this month that we talked about. And he ended up with $1,100 from his site and 29,000 page views. So that's a little more than what we mentioned in the video. And that's why the thumbnail and the title here is a little higher on the numbers than what we say in the video, because those are the actual numbers. But now let's dive into the interview. Welcome here. Today I have Mike from Below Average Blogger with me. He's inside my course and he's also active here on YouTube. So definitely go and check out his channel. There's a link here and in the description. Mike reached out to me recently. He's a member of my course and he's in my community. And he told me that he's seeing some pretty awesome success. So you told me you have 25,000 page views already after 8 months. So congratulations on that, Mike.
Thank you very much, man. It's been just as surprising to me.
That's awesome. So give me a little bit of background here. Tell us a little bit about your blogging history. What did you know and what's your background? What did you do prior to this?
Sure. So I just got into blogging about a year ago. And prior to that, I had spent about a combined 20 years doing military and law enforcement. And I kind of got burned out doing that grind for many, many years. And I just got tired of it. And I kind of hit a wall and I was ready for something new. And I was ready to try to build something on my own. And during COVID and quarantine, I started looking for ways to earn my own income and side projects and side hustles, and blogging came up. And like most people, I stumbled onto your channel and Income School and Doug Cunnington and some of the bigger channels.
Yeah.
And started trying to take in as much free info as I could off of YouTube and the internet, and just kind of jumped in feet first, started a couple sites. I've had a couple failures already and one that's doing pretty good.
So you joined my community. When was that? Was that 8 months ago, around the time you started this site?
It was right when you launched.
Sorry, it haven't even been live for 8 months, so it couldn't have been.
I would say probably December, maybe. Was that?
Yeah, late November, start December. That's when I launched.
That sounds right. And yeah. So this site, well, I had started my first blog in June of last year, and it was kind of an outdoor camping blog. And I still work on it, and it's got over 120 articles on it. But growth has been very slow. And I thought, well, I'll try this other category and niche blog and see how it works. And it just happened to be something I use and own and doesn't have a lot of competition. And the first blog that I started, I was using all free info off of the internet from YouTube videos. Some were old, some were newer. And I made a plan based off that free information I found. And I didn't get a ton of success. And it's been about a year now, and it's still slowly increasing in rankings and traffic. But when I started a new site, I had just joined your course, and I thought, okay, well, I've got one blog that was built off of free info on YouTube from years of videos. And then I'll do this blog based off, a blueprint, a course. So that's why I joined your course. And it's gone really, really, really well.
So 25,000 page views, that's pretty amazing after 8 months. How about the income side of things? I guess we're all eager to hear how much money is making, and if you can break it down to where that money is coming from.
Yeah, so I'll probably preface it with, I'm on track for 25,000 this month, and I'm still on that track. I think today I'm sitting around 19,000 page views, and we still have about 10 days left. So it's looking like we're going to get there. So
yeah.
With that said, my earnings have been growing pretty substantially each month. So about 3 months ago, I had made around, I want to say $180. 2 months ago, it was 300-ish. Last month was 470. And this month looks like it's going to be somewhere in the $700 to $800 range.
Wow.
And that consists of $250 to $300 in Amazon, and then another $500 to $600 in Ezoic Premium ad revenue.
Cool. I love how you know these numbers by heart. I mean, that's many times what drives us, right? It's great to hear. So I can assume from you mentioning the numbers that you've seen some pretty good growth over the last 2 months, right?
Yes. So the last 60 days have grown substantially. And I got invited to Ezoic Premium about maybe around the 10th. No, excuse me. Right at the beginning of the month, I got invited to Ezoic Premium. And then within 10 days, they had bumped me up another tier, or I was eligible for another tier up, and I was getting excited, so I took that next tier up, and I've been sitting around $30 EPMVs every day. And it's just been surprising compared to the other success I had tried in the past. So it's been interesting.
That's awesome. How about all the work that goes into creating the site? Are you doing everything yourself? Are you outsourcing parts? Are you writing? What about all these things?
Sure. So that's been a big learning process in this first year. When I first started with my original blog, my camping blog, which, by the way, every time I do keyword research for anything around camping, I tend to see go downsize quite a bit. So you have quite a bit of good spots, man. So anyway, when I started with my first blog, I did a lot of writing on my own. So when you take a lot of free info on YouTube, there's a lot of broad information, but I didn't know the details that I needed. So I would write a lot of info, but I didn't understand, you know, H1s and H2s, and I didn't understand meta descriptions. I was kind of just winging it. And as time went on, I started outsourcing, but that's its own fiasco, right? So you get all these writers who say they can write amazing content. You spend your money and you find out through trial and error which ones actually can write good content and which ones cannot. And so I'd say over the last 10 months, it's been this journey of learning to write better on my own, taking guidance and tips from your course, and then through a lot of wasted money, finding a couple good writers that I have held on to, you know, tightly because they're good writers.
It's a learning curve. It takes time to learn how to find good writers, how to work with them, how to train them and all that stuff. So I'm happy to hear that you eventually found two that
I got two, and the communication is really good and they're really eager to help out, and I keep a steady workflow, and it's just been a good teamwork since I found them.
Yeah. All right. So how do you communicate with them, and what information do you give them to write on?
Sure. So that's been another kind of, you know, evolution itself. So in the beginning, I would just give a topic because I would trust the fact that they knew how to write or do topic research like advertised. And I should preface that by saying I used multiple platforms. I tried Fiverr, I tried iWriter, all the big content services I tried. And it was either the price was good and the quality was low, or the price was just too high out of my range, you know? So I finally found a sweet spot with a couple writers on iWriter. And now I'm at a point after building trust with them through a series, you know, lots of articles coming back to where I generally give the title. I will throw in some references for them to help with their topic research. But for the most part, that's all these two need. They really understand how things should go. But in the past, if I didn't give detailed instructions, I would get back a terrible article. So
that sounds like good writers. And are they in themselves immersed in the niche? Do they have experience, or is it more like they can go and research it online?
I don't know that they have researched. I don't know that they have experience in this niche, but fortunately, these two writers, when I give them a couple citations and maybe a couple forums to go to see what users are saying in those forums, they really do a good job and research thoroughly and accurately present it to the content.
Okay, cool. That's great. And I was thinking about, so your traffic, is it spread out across all the articles, or do you have a few articles that are really killing it, or how does that look?
Sure. So on this this one that's doing well, I would say initially I got a huge spike on Christmas Day. And I think that's because people were gifted this item. And so the search queries really like just spiked that day. It was my first big day ever. And I was shocked, you know, and and then after that, I think there's about 5 to 10 articles that get a few thousand views every month. And other than that, I'd say on average, they're all doing fairly well. And I think the ones that are doing the worst are probably here's your best, you know, item type article. I don't think I see a lot of success with those type of affiliate styled articles.
Yeah.
Most of my content, almost all of it, I'd say 90% of my content right now is informational posts that are pulled from Google suggested questions.
Yeah. All right. I was just going to ask you that. So that's interesting to hear. I do see many people struggling to get good traffic these days to reviews. Also with the recent updates in Google with the product review update, where Google is really looking for some original thought and new information, and people who actually have these products in hand, which is hard. I mean, if you're starting out a new site, it's not like you can go out and spend like $1,000 on several products and just for the sake of writing an article that might not rank. But that's pretty cool to hear that you see that much success with mainly informational type questions and topics. That's also many times what I do many times for the first 2 years, just to establish a site with a lot of traffic. Then links will come, and then down the road it'll be so much easier to rank for the more competitive stuff and do reviews and best X for Ys.
Absolutely. When I originally started, because I was getting so much info from YouTube, some of those videos that you see that may be popular, maybe 3 years old, maybe 2 to 4 years old, who knows, right?
Yeah.
And if you follow that guidance like it's today's standards or what Google wants today, it could send you down a bad road, you know? And so I wrote a lot of best of top 10, you know, stuff in the beginning on my camping site, and it really got very little traction in Google. And then conversely, I did this new site with a lot of informational suggested question type posts, and it's seen amazing growth compared to the other one.
That's really cool. Thanks for sharing that. Are you doing something with social media, or is it just articles for the site? Are you using Pinterest or YouTube or something else?
Sure. So the first 6 months I did nothing but just write content. I didn't promote it anywhere. Every now and then I might drop an article into a Reddit question where somebody had asked about it. And I'm just like, oh, I found this on the web, you know, just slip my article in there. And I would get a little bit of traffic here and there. But then last month, I decided to make a series of 20 pins, which I hate making Pinterest pins, but I just figured it was time to, you know, spread it out. And that's actually done really well as well. Let me look real quick, but I think I've gotten I'm getting around 3,000 to 5,000 views a month from Pinterest right now off those 20 pins. So it's been good. Yeah.
Sounds like a good niche for Pinterest. I mean, in some niches, it makes a lot of sense, and sometimes it doesn't really make sense. So that's pretty cool. So you have a new leg there you can sort of build out and get some good traffic. Do you know yet if that traffic from Pinterest is doing as well as that other traffic? I was thinking if you have dived into the analytics to see if the people from Pinterest are staying on the site as long as people from Google, because that's a huge impact on how much money you're going to make with ads and so on.
I haven't, and that's probably not even data that I'm even tracking on at this point. I know I can go and see the traffic came from Pinterest, but I've never really studied that behavior yet.
No. Okay. All right. I can show you how to do that.
That'd be great.
I'll put a little description how to do that in the description if people want to know how to check that out in analytics. All right. So, and the money you're making with the site now, are you investing that money back into the site, into more content, or are you taking it out for yourself, or have you given any thought to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've never taken a dime from the website at this point. 100% goes back into the website.
Cool.
I'm not making enough money that I feel like it concerns me at this point. At this point, it's money I've made, and I just want to reinvest it and hopefully turn that into more with time. I do think that once I get to a certain dollar amount, and I'm not sure what that is in my head yet, but at some point I will start to take maybe 50% and, you know, bring it home and 50% back out to content or wherever it needs to go.
Yeah. For a very long time, I reinvested 30% back into the business consistently. So you just pick your number. I mean, there's no right and wrong, but at some point, of course, it's nice to take a little bit of money out and go have some fun with that. So, what are your plans moving forward? Are you gonna keep doing what you do now? It definitely seems like it's working.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm a little apprehensive because things are going well. I get very, nervous. You put a lot of work into something and you get nervous about maybe a Google update or someone with a lot of money coming and just stripping all your keywords and content and just making a bigger site because they realize it's an underserved area, which I think is potential for that. As of today, I've got about 70 articles on the site that have been built up over the last 8 months. And I think moving forward, I obviously want to, at a minimum, get to 150 articles and just see what happens between now and that 150.
Yeah.
I do think because it is kind of a sub niche area that I will eventually plateau. I mean, it can't go on forever, continuing to grow and grow. But then again, I don't have a ton of experience in building sites, so I don't know what would be considered a plateau. So I'm really just learning from this site and enjoying the success while I have it.
It's very rare that I see people cannot really continue building the site unless it's very limited by the domain name. But I'm sure you'll find that out. And please share a little bit about what you are sharing on your YouTube channel. If people want to check that out, what can people learn from you on your channel?
Certainly. So I created a channel when I started blogging back in probably July last year, and I named it Below Average Blogger because when I came onto YouTube looking for blogging information, there's so many people with so much knowledge and so much success. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't, like this is a, a business where people know what they're doing. And I definitely don't know what I'm doing. So I thought I'll make kind of fun with it, call it below average blogger, because I'm not here to present myself as a guru. I'm just kind of sharing my learning experiences with everybody, because I know other new bloggers dabble their toes into looking at these videos and they get a little overwhelmed as well. So I think it's good to have a resource out there where I can say, hey guys, this month I screwed up so many things. Let me share them with you. Or, hey guys, I finally got some success. Here's what worked, what didn't. And I just like to share the successes and the failures and be kind of transparent about it.
Yeah, I think that's transparency is totally key, especially on YouTube. There's many people who would never share something that didn't work. And it's just really cool for the people following you that they get the real deal. Yeah, that's also what the vibe I got from your channel. I love that. And the name reflects that.
Hopefully it's valuable to some people out there, and it can kind of ease their mind and maybe give them the confidence to say, you know what, you can make mistakes and still find some success. And maybe it's worth it to them to just jump in there and try it. I would say if I was doing it over again as a new blogger, because I did a site with no guidance and a site with guidance, there's definitely a value in finding a blueprint for your, whatever blueprint you choose is up to you. But I put a lot of time and money into a site with no roadmap in the beginning. And I think if I would give anybody new advice, it would be find a roadmap. And you can pick it from anywhere, but just find a plan that has a proof of concept and follow a plan, because SEO changes so much and trends change so much. You need to be in a community and with a blueprint that people can share that up-to-date information, because it's very, very helpful and will save you a lot of time and money down the road.
Yeah, I think that's a great advice. Yeah, especially when people are just starting out, because there's so many contradictory information on YouTube and everywhere, and you'll just run around like a headless chicken until you figure it out eventually, if you ever figure it out. So it's just stick to a plan and try to follow that consistently to feel like you know what you're doing, and then things will start to make sense, right?
Yeah, that's the plan. I still to this day am so on the fence about backlinks. So you had asked me about backlinks, and with my original site that's in a very competitive camping and outdoors niche, I didn't do it. I've done no backlinks for the site that is doing well, but with that camping site that has taken a very long time to mature and do well, just recently, one of the brokers I was using for writers had a deal where if you put in a certain amount of money, you got, a certain DA50 guest post or plus or whatever. And so I just did that recently. We'll see if that has any impact at all, but I've been back and forth and seen so many pros and cons to backlinks that I don't know what to think about it, but I'm afraid to do it with a new site that's doing well, because I don't want to give that site any opportunity for Google to set for manual penalties or something.
Yeah, it's definitely a calculated risk there. So these days, or for many years, I haven't built links like manually or paid people or for links. Also, the thing is that many times the places you're able to get these guest posts, they will typically be open to a lot of guest posts, and Google will probably see that they're linking out left, right, and center, and that's a clear pattern right there. And those patterns are what we should try to avoid if we are actively building links. But that's also something that I'm putting in my course. I'm ramping up some more advanced stuff in my course over the summer, and my strategies and the new strategies for getting links, and also just building authority for the site and being able to rank for more competitive stuff down the road, also with EAT and all these things going on in Google. How to build that authority is something that I'm definitely building out in my course.
That's something that's going to be very valuable to me, because I'm at a point now where this new site that's doing well, I don't see any backlinks that are getting built naturally from it, just because it's got a lot of top 10, top 5 positions, featured snippet positions. And I thought, oh, well, I've got one of those sites that's doing well. It'll get, cited by other websites eventually. And I haven't seen any pop up. So I'm interested to see about just the natural growth and how to build authority without penalizing myself, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it will definitely come naturally. So now that you're in the 20,000 page views, from here to 100,000 page views, you will see it's starting coming in.
That number seems like a fairy tale right now. But so did 25. So here we are.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. Thank you so much for sharing your journey so far. And maybe we should do an update sometime, and definitely go and check out Mike's channel. It's cool. been watching a couple of your videos. I love your honesty, and thank you for reaching out and being on here. So I guess I'll see you in the community. Have a good time.
Morten, I appreciate you reaching out, and I appreciate you kind of extending this time to me and kind of sharing my progress. It's been fun. It's been exciting. It's been nerve-wracking, but I look forward to the future and to see what happens.
Yeah, thanks. Me too. And I'm excited to see where this site will go from here. For sure.
Absolutely.
Have a good one. I'll see you around, Mike.
All right. Take care, Morten.